Hello, my name is Judy, and the purpose of this video is to hopefully try to help us speed up the production of these mask covers so that we can get them out to our healthcare providers as fast as we possibly can. I used to be a contract seamstress, and I sewed by the piece, and that's how I got paid. And it is amazing how much time you can save, the fewer times you have to pick up the scissors or clip the threads. So I'm hoping to give you a few shortcuts that might help you to be able to sew these masks a bit faster. So the mask that we're doing is a surgical mask that is 9 by 6. If you're putting your pattern on the fold, it's going to be a 9 by 12 piece. And we have two 7-inch pieces of elastic. And this is the mask that we're going to make. So I have mine on the fold. Again, if you had two separate pieces, you're going to sew this seam first. We're going to come here and we're going to put this piece of elastic right up here by the fold. Fold this back. Now your elastic is under here, and we want to keep it flat, so we're just going to spread it out. We're going to stitch, and we want to reinforce it so the elastic doesn't come out. We're going to go down here, and then we're going to take the other side of our elastic. We want to go about 1/4 inch in, because that's where our seam is going to be. So we're going to cover this. And again, we want to reinforce it so the elastic doesn't come out. And then we're going to turn it. Stitch to the other end. And then we're going to turn it, and I keep the needle in because that helps it kind of stay steady. We're going to take our second piece. And what I like to do, it's kind of hard to get it set in there, so I turn it kind of like this, which gives me a little bit more leverage so I can just pop that in. And we're going to put this right up against your needle, which is right on that seam. And we're going to reinforce this. Now, your elastic has been turned in here, so you're just going to want to twist it. And we're going to hold it down the end. Now, we're going to need to turn this mask right side out. So what we're going to do is we're going to sew a little ways, then we're going to back it up, reinforce it. Then all we're going to do is we're going to pick up the presser foot, we're going to move it, we're going to put it back down, and we're going to sew again. And we're going to tuck this elastic in here. We're on the fold. And we're going to reinforce it. Now, usually we would pick it up and cut it and turn it and finish it. We're going to do this, and we're going to do several. Do several of them at the same time. And we just start over. This way you're saving time because you're doing all the same process at the same time. If you have your raw edge, you're going to cut it. Oh, excuse me, you're going to stitch it. And we're going to start over again. Put this elastic in here. Fold it over and start again. And so what's going to happen is when we finish, we're going to have a whole string of these, as many as you'd like to do. If you want to do 5 at a time, 10 at a time, 15 at a time, and do this process first. Okay, so when you've sewn them, I just put 2 together here, but you will have as many as you would like to sew at a time. So they're stitched together, so you're just going to go and all at the same time, you're going to clip them apart. So then the next thing, and if you have somebody else that can help you with the turning, that's great. I pull it here, and then I like to use the end of a pencil or something like that. It just helps me to get the fabric through to the other side. So I'm going to turn this and turn it now. The great part about this is you get your elastic on the other side, and you just take that and you just pull it. That helps the corners, both corners, and you just pull it. And so then you finish this one, you turn this one, and now you've got a stack of these, and we're going to do the pleat now. Now this one is definitely for somebody who is more visual. What I'm trying to do is show a shortcut in case you don't want to do the pins. If the pins are working for you, that is fantastic. What I did was I took a copy of the pattern that I had and I cut the measurement part and I just taped it to my machine to give me a visual of how big my pleat wants to be. So I have the top edge of this at the top edge of my mask, and I'm going to set that down there. I'm going to reinforce it. And then you see over here these two dots. So I'm kind of using this as a gauge. And I'm going to take the fabric and I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to make my first pleat. And I'm going to have it match those dots. And so you can see the width of this right here. It's about the width of that, okay? So we're going to come through, and you want to make sure that you catch the pleat before you start on your next one, because you don't want this to pull out. And you're going to do the same thing. We're going to do just about that inch, and we're going to pull that up. Make sure the bottom is even as well. We're going to pull that up, and it's going to fit right under the other one. We're going to go across, and again, we're going to give it a little extra strength. And then we're going to do the last one. I'm going to pull that right up under there. Okay. And we're going to reinforce it. And we're going to stitch to the end here. And then we're going to sew along this edge. Again, we're going to take this, we're going to turn it. And this is more of the visual part that I was talking about. So either use your pins, or what I do is I'm taking this and I'm kind of tucking the fabric up under straight across. And you can see visually that this is matching this over here. So I'm going to do my first pleat. It up a little, and then I'm going to do my second, and it's just, you kind of take the material and you're kind of tucking it. You want your pleats to look the same, tuck that under there, and see, now we have it straight across, both pleats. And go across this way, and it takes a little bit. If you decide this is something you want to do, it takes a little bit of practice to do it. And we're going to tuck the next one up. See that that matches across, and that they pretty much match the width of the bottom as well. Do that. Back it up. Reinforce it. Turn it. Stitch around. And there you go. Only had to clip it once. And here we have our finished mask. So I hope that these little shortcuts have helped you. Please take care of one another, stay well, and let's get sewing.